all today. Today, I should probably start with an introduction. Hi, I'm Rachel Reitman, aka Chail Codes. You can call me Chail. So I work on rubyevents.org, and today we're going to be working on the InvolvementsGenerator. Now, if you take a look at this file, this is the involvements.yaml. It tells you about all the people who help to organize and put together an event. I'm very passionate about involvements.yamls. I'm very passionate about recognizing the people who put their time and effort into organizing an event. And this one is for Tropical on Rails. But the one we're going to be working on today, because this one is mostly full, is going to be the one for RubyConf, which doesn't exist yet. We're going to make a generator to make it easier for people to get the format correct. Like, one thing that I'm noticing right now is that all of the names do not go in quotes. Yeah, all of the names don't go in quotes, but all of the involvement tier names do. Also, hi Macabre Man, nice to see you. All right, now let's get into it. I guess we just start with a generator, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna generate a generator. So I'm gonna do bin rails generate, and then I'm gonna say generator, and then I'm gonna put involvements. Go. There it goes. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put us on a branch, because sometimes I forget to do that until the very end. So we're gonna do git switch -c, and we're gonna call it InvolvementsGenerator. Da-na-na-na. Let's see. I like it. I think the reason we went with involvements is because the idea is organizer, but we also want to incorporate things like volunteers and event staff and other things like that. And like, it feels a little different when you're talking about like, here's the co-chair of the conference, here's program committee, here's somebody who signed up to volunteer for the event, and like finding a word that encompassed all of those is a little bit challenging. And involvements is the one we went with. All right, so now we're on our InvolvementsGenerator branch. And if we look right here, we have a brand new InvolvementsGenerator. Now it's starting with Rails generator named base, which is the default. We don't want that. We want to use our own. So our own, I'm actually gonna kind of pull from schedules, is event base. So I'm gonna grab all 5 of these lines. Phantom Glitch says, good afternoon, Chail. Good afternoon. I've had a little bit of a morning this morning. So last night we went to some 4th of July celebrations, which was really nice. It was the first time that Cece had ever seen fireworks, and she was very impressed. She hopped up, she jumped up, she was so excited. Oh my God, fireworks! Fireworks! We're in the car afterwards. Did you like the fireworks? Yes. What color were the fireworks? Green. What other colors were they? Blue. What other colors were they? Sparkles. Which was genuinely delightful. So yeah, that kept us up really, really late. And then in the middle of the night, the power went out. So that was. Majestic Max says, sounds like mini chill. Absolutely 100%. All right, so yeah, I think that's about right. Then we have class options and we have arguments. I think we're gonna go with class options, and it's gonna say involvements. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a word that means tier but isn't. That was what we almost worked on. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just come down here and I'll be like, oh, let me rummage through here and find something to talk, like to do, and yeah. Let me see, adding unpublished talks. Actually, let me grab this really quick. FAQ. If those are not provided, use the original language for the description, translate the title to English, and store the title in its original language in original title. The language field should be the 2-letter language code. This is actually no longer true. Let me grab this really quick. Sorry, I'm gonna do 3 things. Let me step back. I'm gonna do 3 things. 1, I'm gonna reply to somebody who opened an issue. 2, I'm actually gonna fix these lightning talk details really quick in the talk generator. And then 3, we'll work on the involvements. I'm already getting distracted. We're like barely into this. Let me scroll through. It's not a PR, it's an issue. Issues. This one. Excellent. We would love to see Tokyo Rails on the site. We're trying to reach out and include more Japanese events right now. Perfect. Okay. We have an FAQ section in the documentation for talks that are not in English. Boop. No, that's not the link. Hang on. I think I have to copy it from here. Boop. There are a few updates from when that was written. Okay, what are the updates? The key is now Japanese instead of JA. He is now Japanese instead of JA. And I just wanted to note that the title original situation is the translated title, original title situation is because we use the title to generate the slug, and the slug does not support God, I don't know what the word is. We need to figure out the language around this. I'm just gonna put kanji for now, even though I know that's too precise. We would love to see Tokyo Rails on the site. We're trying to reach out and include more Japanese events right now. We have an FAQ section in the documentation for talks that are not in English. Bloop. And then, you know what? I'll just go ahead and include that section right here. Prefer English descriptions and titles if provided by the event. If those are not provided, use the original language for the description, translate the title to English, and store the title in its original language in original title. The language field should be the 2-letter language code. This will make it easier for people to find talks in their native language. I'll exclude it, that way I can put the updates in there. Otherwise, I think it's confusing. Okay. Comment. Yay! Perfect. Honestly, what we could probably do, we're using like original language. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know about every Ruby event. I feel like the two big ones are Brazilian Portuguese because of tropical, and then Japanese. But you know what? I bet there's ones that I don't know about and I haven't thought about. Let me look at talks. Format talk. Okay, so we have English, 9,369 or 89. Japanese, 630. Portuguese, 152. I'm surprised. That feels like a small number, but you know what? Tropical has a mix of both. And then we've got 3 in Polish, 13 in Italian, 15 in Russian, 18 in Chinese. The Turkish, the French and Spanish. Oh, you know what? Let me see. The Ruby Montevideo meetup. Ooh. You know, I bet some like meetups could really increase those numbers. Makarov, hi. Okay. That's done. Let me go on to point 2, which was that I was going to go in and I was going to update this lightning talk situation. And then we'll move on to the main event of the stream, the InvolvementsGenerator. I'm gonna be right back. Hi, girl. Can you sit here for 1 second? You have to entertain the chat, okay? That's your job. Sit here, entertain chat. Hello. All right. You can hear me now. Anakin Luke says cat. Makarat, funny how it froze in this moment. Anakin Luke, it's frozen. Kitty was trying to let you know what's going on. Anakin Luke, can't hear anything. Still broken. Hi. Hi. So yeah, my kids were crying and loud enough that I was like, I gotta deal with this. Makarat says it's just the cam. Yep, it's just the cam. Yeah, so Cece was having an absolute breakdown. Ken was trying to get Cece and BCC upstairs, and I was like, I think I have to go step in and get involved. He's not very good with the transitions. Okay, speaking of which, and I'm gonna go, hi! PNG streamer then. Apparently that is what we're gonna do. All right, let me test this out. Here's webcam and cover. We'll open it. Oh, I can't open it. Okay. Studio mode. Pearl, you stay right there. You broke this. I am blaming this break on you, Pearl. Oh, dear. All right, so here's the camera. Deactivate. Activate. Nothing happened. Deactivate. Activate. Nothing happened. Deactivate. Turn the camera off. The camera's thinking about it. You stay, look, you stay and stare at the squirrels. That's your job. My job is to stream. My job is to like build generators and update data. Your job is to stare out the window at the squirrels. Okay. Turning on the camera. Activate, deactivate, activate, deactivate, activate, deactivate, nothing. Okay, option 2. Turn off the camera. Ooh, it turned off much faster that time. Unplug the cam link. Everybody's always telling me about Elgato and how great their stuff is, and I do love their microphone, and I can't think of anybody else who does a capture card that's better, but like, it's burned out so many times. Nightmare Joker says, new streaming format. Maybe. Do you know what I keep chickening out of? I want to do like little mini 2-minute long travel videos at conferences. But I can't even get like a blog post done, to be honest. Yay! Okay, I'll be right back. It's me! Hi. I'm back. Okay, let me go back to this. Ah, perfect. Majestic Max says, software, am I right? Absolutely. I'm so glad y'all stayed. As I was like covered in tears and like trying to get my kid into the bed, I was sitting there and I was like, I know that I'm on mute. And like, it's just a picture of me holding a cat that is desperately struggling to get away. Nightmare Joker 2 says, hi, Chael. Hi. I was like, what am I gonna do when I get back and there are 0 viewers? And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to restart the stream. No. You know your job. Your job is to sit in the window and stare at the squirrels. There's a squirrel out there. Turn around. No, look at the squirrel. Look at the squirrel. I bet there's a squirrel out there somewhere. Phantom Glitch says, you think we have anywhere else to be? I'm sure some people do. I'm sure I'm gonna go look at the stats at this afterwards and be like, oh. Okay, so here's me and Marco having a little debate about lightning talks. Lightning talks usually have the lightning talk prefix. Let's keep it for all of them. Me saying, why? We have the kind. And yeah, I can add the lightning talk thing to the generator. This is the convention we had for all of them, so we can infer the kind from the title. But we don't need to infer the kind if we set it. And then the silence means that I have to go update the generator. Nightmare Joker says yes, and some people watch a static PNG and no audio. It's wild. Yeah. And come look meow. Oh. DX Wolf, morning. Mark Roth, nobody sets it. What? How are they supposed to know to put the lightning talk at the beginning? How are they supposed to know to put the lightning talk at the beginning? All right, so I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna save this. I don't have to do anything. I can just leave this and I can still switch branches. Yeah. I haven't committed anything, so I don't even need to check out main. Mark Ross says the lightning talk ones are easy, but all the other kinds are super tricky. Nightmare Jugger says by looking at the other lightning talks and what they look like, if they look at the other lightning talks, then they know to set the kind. Alright, nope, not get checkout, get switch. Switch dash C. No. I'm doing this wrong. I need to check out the existing branch. There we go. I wish GitHub ignored this, because like they put it on there. They know it's gonna be there. There we go. Okay, switch to a new branch, set to track. Let me open this real quick. We're gonna go to the talk generator. All right, so here's the title of the talk. Now I have to think about this a little bit. Title. If the title does not exist, we want to do kind title case by speakers 2 sentence. This is the thing, is I'm figuring out the kind from the title, and then I'm figuring out the title from the kind. No, I'm figuring out the title from the kind. Already. It's using the kind if it's present. And Nightmare Joker says, yay, recursion? So I think it's actually using the kind whether or not it's present. So I think if they didn't set the kind, it would just be blank by blank. Or blank by speakers. Like if you explicitly passed it. I don't have a kind here. I don't have an at kind dot present. Oh, but it defaults the kind to talk. Yeah, so this would be talk by name. Microrat says or equal does. Okay. It's fine. Phantom Glitch says, I've made a decision to get out of bed. Today is a tired day. I see what you're saying. We set the title up here. And then when we call it later, we're saying if the title exists, do this. If kind not equal to talk. If kind is not equal to talk. I think that's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm looking for like a... Maybe I write the tests first. Maybe I write the tests first. Never Trigger says it's suggested to use kind.pretend. Love it. Oh. Okay. Well, now I'm confused because this would be like keynote by speakers 2 sentence. Do we have a different thing for keynotes? Micro says I updated it when I added talk kind from title the other day, but maybe there is a slight logic bug. I know I updated oh, you know what? Hang on. I updated the other branch. I didn't update this one yet. Okay, git fetch git rebase dash I upstream main. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Get status. Okay, I don't see anything. Get rebase dash dash continue. No rebase in progress. It looks like that succeeded. I updated it when I added talk kind from title the other day. Ah. Okay. What is right kind? What is right kind? If kind is not equal to talk, talk kind from title to S is not equal to talk. I think this should just be kind is not equal to talk, shouldn't it? Because if I call kind, it's going to give me the kind. Okay. Let me look at this. Add non-default kind in videos.yaml and add validator. There's 282 of these. Okay. Default kind talk. Talk errors. Kind node value at kind strip. Inferred talk kind from title node value at title. Kind empty. Node title in location. Kind is inferred from the title but is not added explicitly. This is inferred. Okay, what am I looking at here? Got it. This one's our validator. Love it. Now this one. Yeah. Kind on the static video is self-kind.presence. Hang on, I'm not. Oh, damn it. Did it again. So when I click links, they now open elsewhere. Oh, hey! Pierito! Thank you so much for a 15 stream streak. Yay! Thank you. Okay, so I updated things, so now it opens everything in like a separate tab. And then like I have my browser that I'm using for like stream stuff. And then I have Brave, which I'm using for this. Okay, so now I'll talk you through what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a validator, talk kind. It applies to videos. I would probably call that like talk has kind. All right, so we're gonna parse the file. Okay, we have talk errors, talk kind from title, and then kind is inferred from the title but is not set explicitly. Add kind to the entry if this is inferred. Otherwise, you can explicitly set kind talk if the title classifier didn't get it right. Message kind, default kind is redundant because the title already classifies as default kind. Remove it. Only keep explicit default kind to override a non-default classification. I disagree with this. I disagree with this. I think that we should say the kind. I think we should say the kind. Why are we not saying the kind? Because we might change how we like parse and understand kinds in the future, but a kind is always the kind. I really don't agree with this. Nightmare Joker says saying the kind is kindness, Marco. Marco says, from my experience, the LLMs have just been copying the kind without thinking about it. I'm teaching them to put the kind in, and I've been explicitly putting the kind in for ones where it matters. What is it? What? And they don't know to put like lightning talk or whatever. Hang on. Skill template. Yeah, I've been explicitly putting the kind for the talks. I think it makes sense to say like, hey, if you find a talk that has keynote in the title, you have to set the kind as keynote. I don't think it makes sense to say if you have keynote in the title, we don't have to set the kind. Idenim says, hello, how are you today? I'm debating with Marco on stream. I think it makes a lot of sense to say like, we have keynote in the title, you must have keynote set as the kind. And I think it makes sense like as we parse it. But I don't think it makes sense to be like, yeah. Because we've changed what our kinds are a couple of times too. But also, like, how is somebody who's like contributing supposed to know that they need to include lightning talk in the title? I mean, I didn't even know I was supposed to include lightning talk in the title. I thought including the title was enough. I think we're just gonna end up with talks that aren't tagged as lightning talks. Meanwhile, if you have a kind there that's like, hey, I'm a lightning talk, it'll put it there. Edenim says a template maybe? So we have a template and we have a kind field and we're telling them not to use it if they've said it in the thing. Like if they've named it lightning talk. My girl says, okay, wait, check this out. I agree with like 90% of this. I just really, really, really don't agree with this part. Okay, let me pull this up. Mark Ross says we also added the kind to all of them, but that added like 8,000 lines of code. I think that's fine. Fix kind classification of some talks. Require explicit kind for talks under 10 minutes. Add validations for start queue, end queue, and thumbnail queue. What is a city pitch? I know what a city pitch is. A city pitch is the next one. I do like the announcement type. Announcement type makes sense. This is so many types. This is so many types. Also, what is an open mic? Panel, interview, fireside, chat, Q&A, discussion, podcast, game show, award. Do you like the game shows? I think it makes sense to put the kind. Thank you for following Daniel DRGO007. I would be willing to update this in order to make it so that this first part kind is inferred from the title but is not set explicitly. Nightmare Joker says open mic is comedy night in programming school. Honestly, I've been to game shows, like Ruby game shows, so I kind of think that's legit. But yeah, I just think that people aren't gonna tag them lightning talks, and also there's no hint for what you're supposed to title it, because the thing is, like, if I'm hang on, this is the wrong thing. If I'm in here and I'm trying to generate a talk, I do bin rails g talk -- help, and it's gonna tell me, come on, I don't know why you're taking so long. Mike Ross says we can add the kind explicitly. Yes. I just scared the cat. Yay! Thank you. Oh, okay. But yeah, if we go in here and I look at kind, it's going to say, what is the type of talk? And it's going to list all of the kinds. And so I now have all of the kinds there and I can access them. I'm gonna put this in the top. Name Your Joker says something fell. Ruby fell. Ruby disappeared. Inferred from title when omitted. Intro, outro. Okay. I am gonna update the title of my stream real quick. Because I don't think I'm gonna make it to the InvolvementsGenerator. Okay. Talk kind on newbieevents.org. Done. And on YouTube. Hi, YouTube friends. Tell me if you see this update. I'm gonna call this Setting the Kind on rubyevents.org. Oh, I have to go update. I have to go update all of the old ones. Okay. I have to update all the old files. Okay, so first we're gonna have to fix the validator. Okay. Also, what is this template? Oh, not this template. I found it later. I'll find it again later. Okay. Okay. Mark Ross says, I wanted to add more kinds to make recommendations more accurate and also for the AI summaries so an interview panel could be summarized with a different prompt. Oh. And things like intro, outro are not interesting to recommend to people. I agree with that one. I agree with that one a lot. Yeah, I think that is smart. I think it might be helpful for us to have those because then we can be like, did they put the schedule in there? Are the sponsors in this intro or outro? Well then, and you randomly get, so at Blue Ridge Ruby, Identim says updated. Yay! Thank you for confirming. Yeah, but like for the intro outro thing, the one that Jeremy did at Blue Ridge Ruby was genuinely poignant and like kind of made me like tear up a little bit and like that was basically like a talk. Okay, I need to pivot. Yes. Do I need to pivot? What is my current branch? Git branch. RubyConf Lightning Talks. I'm going to manually update these. Is that gonna pass? I don't think it's gonna pass binlint because I'm gonna have both. Okay, videos.yaml 2026. Lightning talks. These are like really long descriptions. I think the lightning talks are at like the end too, maybe. Are they day 2? They're day 2. They are. Okay. Future of Ruby panel. Okay, here are the lightning talks. Kind lightning talk. And then title. All of these is going to get lightning talk. Yeah, I was gonna fix that with the generator, but I'm gonna pivot a little bit. Oh, okay, that updated that one. Okay, this one is still, yep, lightning talk. Lightning talk. Lightning talk. Lightning talk. This is the other reason with the lightning talk colon thing, is now we have lightning talk colon insta colon. Lightning talk. Lightning talk. Lightning talk. Lightning talk. Ruby is the glue for AI planning fun activities for my kids. Haha, I used a dash. One of the things that I've kind of been enjoying is instead of doing like, what's the word I'm looking for? Macro says, I used to put dash for the second colon for the colon, but it's also awkward. Yeah. Do you want me to do that for Insta? Because I feel like the dash means something different. Yeah. Alright, git commit dash PM. Lightning talk prefix. Return of the lightning talk. John Sugar says, can't you programmatically add it in the ERB? Yes. I don't know why this is doing this. No. No. Yes. 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 No. 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 Good. Did I commit that? I did commit that. That's what I just did. Git push. Get push dash F. I rebase, so it's going to make me force push. Sweet. That one is ready. Now I'm going to git check out main. Git restore. I love the new names for git stuff, like the git restore. It makes it so much clearer that you're like, it's not confusing like git checkout was. You're like, no, I am restoring this. Git status, git restore, app, models, event.rb, test, fixtures, events.yaml. Perfect. And the involvements is just gonna be another day. I didn't get that far with it, so I'm just gonna get I'm just gonna rm lib generators. Yeah, lib generators. No! Oh, thank God. I would have had to do RMRF. Okay. That was my bad. Involvements. It would have been fine because I just wouldn't have committed it. Sweet. That looks good. I like that. rm test / lib / generators / involvements generator test.rb. Okay. And an M says, oopsie moment, so scary. And John Sugar just says, lol. Yeah, that was not the scope that I wanted to remove things from. All right, so I'm gonna do another git status, make sure everything is where I want it. It is. I'm gonna do a git checkout main. Excellent, my branch is up to date with origin main. Now, I'm going to open that validator. And that is the validator kind. Yes. Talk kind test. Yes. There's something that I've kind of been wanting to do for a while, which is make like a base validator. So I'm gonna rename this. No, not rename that. I'm gonna create a new file called validator.rb, and this is gonna be key. Nightmare Joker says, Chill almost deleted everything on her computer. No, I almost deleted the generators folder. I'm not like, I'm not an AI. I'm smarter than that. I think that's funny. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, that's error. That's how I like it. 3 yank yank. Static validators, and then instead of class error, validator. I don't think I even need to do this. Like, I literally think I could just do static validator validators. Right? Like, why am I making my life harder? End. Oh, perfect. Def. End. Okay, now I'm gonna do something really quick. I'm just gonna do self dot Mark Ross says it changes the namespace lookup chain though. Tell me about that. This is something I don't know about. Nightmare Joker says, I mean, back in 2015, a human did delete the entirety of GitLab and they had to restore for hours from a backup. When you say they deleted the entirety of GitLab, the database, the code base, the production data. That was yummy. Customer repositories, everything. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I don't think people should have access to do that. And Denim says, I think it was the production DB. I don't think people should have access to do things to the production DB. I think that you should only be able to run like rake tasks on the production DB. John Sugar says, don't be AIist. Not all models are stupid. Macross says, I guess if you self-host it, why not? DXWO says someone lost their job that day, lol. I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself, to be quite frank. Okay, what are you upset about? I did have an end. It's right here. What are you upset about? Oh, it's because this isn't written. Okay, self dot video validators. And yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. Ah! There. Okay. I like it. I don't want the new. I just want it to be the classes. Video validator. Can I just do classes? Yeah, I should be able to do that. X. This is a little different from what I said I was going to do, but it's I feel like I need to do this. I think it's going to help me in the future, because what I'm going to be able to do now is let me check this one. Which one are you? You're a speakers. You're a speakers. Glasses. Don't we have those on validate.rake? Yes. Nightmare Joker says it was in a migration script that had RMRF and then a space and then the path, and it actually should have had deleted past end from a variable. No preserve root wasn't a thing yet. That was basically why it exists now. Yep. Yep. Oh, when they did the RMRF, was it supposed to be a backslash? See, if you had to test it, if you had to write a test for your migration script, you would have caught that your slash went one way and not the other. Honestly, I genuinely think AI would probably catch that, though. Like the Copilot code review thing, I think it would catch that. Because I think they're really good at catching, like, dumb typos. Okay. Validate. rake. Yes. And like, honestly, what I have been moving towards with validate.rake is creating that. Oh yeah, here they are. Validate event files. Yes. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, because now all I would do is I would take all of these. How many lines is this? I'm going to yank it, and then I'm going to remove it. I think that's the best way to do this. 7 yanking. Def self dot event validator classes. I mean, yeah, that's where I was going. Only I do this. I come back here and I go boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. Yes, exactly. And then all of this 5? Yes. 6. Back here. And then over here, static validators validator.event validator classes. Static. And then I don't need that. You're wrong, AI. I just delete all of this. Yep. Yes. Majestic Map says, web dev is interesting. The ecosystem moves a bit too fast for my taste. There's always something new, but at the same time, almost everything is built in something old. Like, we use ActiveAdmin at my work. Anything built before Avo is probably using ActiveAdmin, and ActiveAdmin is so old looking. All right. I've been seeing this. What I'm thinking about doing is making the fix part of the validator. Hey, Jason says everything on the web is duct taped together. I mean, kind of, but that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. Okay, if errors.any. Yep. Okay, so now what is this one? Validate talk published at files. Yeah, so that one would be... is there a particular place where this gets called? Talk published at. Nope, it's just in here. Okay. Let's look at the validator. Talk published at. Let's see. This is the generators. We're going back to validators today. Talk published at. Videos file. Okay. That is exactly what I'm looking for. I didn't grab the thing. This one. Yes. Yes. Perfect. I can alphabetize them. Majestic Max says in my industry, games, it's even worse. Okay, this is something that I'm kind of curious about. With game dev, like, are you bringing the same code base with you? Like, you have the engine and you're bringing it to other games, but... Remember, Trigger says, ActiveAdmin looks old, really? It's from 2010. My friend, that was 16 years ago. Ah, John Sugar says this is Chael Stream. I think you mean duct taped together. I like it. I like it. All right, now I'm going to go to this validate.rake, and I'm going to delete this one. Boop. Off you go. This one's videos. Talk kind. Boop. Poga Mechanica says, hello, universe! Hello. All short talks have an explicit kind. Short. Short. Yes. Thank you. I need to introduce the concept of autocorrect. Validate speakers or talk files. Speakers or talk files. All entries have either speakers or talks, never both. Ooh, lovely. That's gonna be videos. Speakers P. Tab. Pokemon Canada says so. Oh, hang on. I find that more romantic than Hello World. Why didn't they use that? Yeah, there's a whole universe out there, a galaxy. I want to tell y'all a story. I went to, so there's this dog park where they have like a little trailer that has alcohol, and they have like a little seating area with like where you can eat pizza that the dogs aren't allowed in. Okay, so here's the thing. We went and we played trivia at this dog park, and like it's mostly like I'm describing it so you get the idea that it's like a chill zone. It's like half a football field of just like dogs running around, idyllic, string lights, like everybody's got a drink in hand and they're hanging out, you're like throwing balls, and like we're doing trivia, and the question comes up, and they were like, which of these like space things are closest to the Earth? One of them was like Jupiter, another one was like the sun, and then the other one was the Andromeda galaxy. And I swear to God, I'm sitting there with my sister's friends, and they go, it's gotta be the galaxy. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And they were like, it's gotta be the Andromeda galaxy. And I'm like, no, it's the sun. We're in the Milky Way. Another galaxy would have like a different sun. It's definitely not that one. But yeah, the universe is so big and so beautiful compared to the world. But they were having a legit debate, and I was like, no. Okay. Nightmare Jacker says, yes, but Bootstrap is from like 2008. Have you seen PHP My Admin? Still the same as it was in 2003 UI-wise. Web apps from pre-2000 were extra old looking. I don't know if it's the last time Active Admin was updated or when it was written, but it looks, I mean, it's like brown. It looks covered. It's about to be in style again. Majestic Max says most teams are using the same engine and deadlines will creep up on you, and then we start shipping hacks to keep up, tech debt accumulates, and the cycle continues. Well, that makes sense. Macross says, I've been wondering if we should use the Rubocop infrastructure for this using lint roller. I'm curious about that. I have been thinking that this kind of feels a little bit Rubocopy, but I'm also kind of thinking that, I mean, the guts of these are all yerba. You know what I mean? Polka Mechanica says, Rubocop is such a good gem. Majestic Max says live service games tend to do better as you're stuck with the tech since you've committed. Ah, good point. And Polka Mechanica about my Andromeda galaxy is like, WTF! John Sugar says, I would have removed the right to vote based off of that answer. Golden Garrison says, how do galaxies' frontiers work? Nightmare Trigger says, another galaxy has a different sun. There's so many suns in this galaxy. We'll start there. Okay, yes. Fair. True. Yes. But the options that we were given, like I was sitting there and I'm like, and this is gonna sound bad if you're like a space person, I was like, Jupiter. It's like on the other side of the asteroid belt, and the sun's really hot. Which one is closer? I'm like, well, the sun is really, really big, and it's really, really hot. And I think we're probably closer to the sun. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, no. Demo.activeadmin.info. Okay, let me see. Maybe there's a better active. What? This is prettier. Okay, hang on. Admin at example.com. What styling are they using? And then password. Okay. Signed in successfully. This is the default page. Wow. This is much bigger, but this looks way better. All powered by ActiveAdmin 4. This all looks, you know, kind of the same. But like, I'm gonna have to look into this. I'm gonna have to look into what version of ActiveAdmin we're looking at and when it got a facelift. Well, you have the activeadmin.info domain. That's so cool. John Sugar says, Andromeda is 65 million light years away. The sun is like 8 light minutes away. I was not confused. I just want to clarify that. I was not confused. I was confident. Pokemon Mechanica says you should install Ruby Critic and then you have access to your specs coverage and linting info of the whole infra. It's not a bad idea. I love linters and validators and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we're gonna finish doing this one. I can delete this one. Yep. I'm gonna leave venue files because I don't think there's anything on that one. Here's speakers. A. Static validator, speaker validator classes, and then it's unique speaker fields and unique speakers. I'm just gonna double check I got both of those. Unique speaker fields and unique speakers. Good. For now, this is all I'm gonna do. Would that be cool to integrate that into the active admin gem? Maybe there's a gem already for that, maybe. Macross says, doesn't that remove the ability to run these independently? What do you mean? Can you clarify? Pokemon Mechanica says, I like a lot of the concept of gems. Lately I've been doing projects at school with Ruby and even Rails, and whenever I'm doing evaluations or presenting the project, people always find it funny about the Ruby creativity on naming. I kind of roleplay with some alternate mining world. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think the Ruby community is actually really fun. So this one... is validating videos.yaml, and this one wants us to run Rails speaker file sync. Macross says the validation, since that's the reason we have the individual rig tasks. Oh! Does anybody do that? Does anybody run the individual rig tasks? But also, we could theoretically just pass in an argument. Yeah, I think it would probably be better to be like, I have one for events, one for the speaker file, one for the video file, one for the event file. maybe at some point in the future, we're like, hey, do you want to validate just this one event? I'm going to run all validations for just the files in this one event. And the applicable would allow us to just be like, take all of the files from this event and run them past all of the validators. Mark Ross says I used to because the whole check takes like 20 seconds, but we can maybe define them programmatically. That's the other thing, is we could pass in the error, then loop over an array and define the tasks automatically. Yeah. I don't see talk dates. Videos. Talk dates. Videos. You are first. There we go. All talk dates are valid. Open this up. Yep, that's just a regular one. Validate venue files, validate event files, validate event files. Just call the validators. Yep. And part of me thinks we should have, like, I don't know, maybe like a fix flag that goes through and automatically fixes things that it can. Because that's what I'm kind of thinking is like the next phase for the validators is kind of saying like, hey, does this have an autofix command and can you run it? Let's see. Because a lot of these are starting to. Static validator speaker exists, referenced in videos, but missing from speakers. Where are we passing the files in for this one? Speaker exists errors. Errors. Return empty array unless applicable. Applicable says file path. This is initialized file path. Oh, this isn't working. Let me check that really quick. That I think is gonna pass even if it's terminal debug output. Quote star yanking, and then I'm gonna do bin rails C. I think this one does not work at present. Okay, this should tell me no errors. Cool. I'm gonna make yeah, I'm gonna make a case where a speaker doesn't exist in a videos file. Videos.yaml. This one. Guillotine. Friend. I'm gonna assume friend all caps doesn't exist. I think it can just run this. Yeah, it says no errors. And you know what? I'll double check this by doing .new. Micro says it does work. I don't think it does. I think you have to call a .new on it. I'll try quitting. I'm pretty sure you have to call a .new on it. I don't think you can just call errors on it. Oh, it is showing. Okay. Huh. How does that work? How does that work? That's not supposed to work. Do I have a default file path? File path 2s sub rails root / empty array. Return false unless file.exists file path. Necros says it's been failing my PRs a few times. Bulga Mechanicus says, I'm going to have an interview on Wednesday. I'm so nervous. Here's... Okay. Oh. Wait. This is different! Oh my god. What? Reset. What is this? Okay. Let me look at errors, validate. Don't try to use liquid courage, she'll smell it on you. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna go in here. Speakers are talk, speaker exists. Achoo. Def validate. Alright, let's see what we have here. We have static speakers file, new missing speaker references, do scalar. Why do we have this self here and then a reset? I'm gonna look at this and see if there's any good reason to do this. It's so you can run it just once and then parse it for each video. It's so you can run it just once and parse it for each video. This is not what I'm working on today. This is not what I'm working on today. I'm gonna do a pass through and I'm gonna handle this. Okay. In the meantime, though, speaker exists. Okay. It does self.class.errors and then it fetches the errors. So at least that interface will still work. And this is for videos. Speaker exists is going to come before this one. Yep, because it's alphabetized. Macross says cross-file validators are trickier. Isn't this more on speakers? I mean, I think the way it's written... Okay, so in this case, what we're looking for is... Let's think about this. In this case, what we're looking for is we're looking to produce an error that is on the videos.yaml that represents the fact that the speaker does not exist. We need to focus on where we want the error to show up. In this case, I think the error goes to the videos.yaml, and I think that this is probably the goal of building it out this way with the missing speaker references is to use the interfaces we already have. But what we would probably do is we would, if we were writing it the same way as the rest of them, is we would get a list of the speakers that are in all of the videos, and then we would search the speakers file for all of the speakers. Because what we're doing right now is we're going through and we're saying, get me all of the missing speaker references for everybody, and then filter that for just the ones not found in this particular path. But yeah, if we were to rewrite this, it would be like, find me all of the speakers in this video and check and make sure they're in the speakers file. And Polka Mechanica says, yeah, it makes sense to get missing speakers as a video error. So yeah, it's really more about like, where does that show up? I'm not going to remove this one. I'm just going to make sure that it's added to the video file validation. And then maybe what we do is we come up to the top, we have validate event files, validate venue files. There's no validators for validate venue files. Validate speakers file. And then desk. Validate videos.yaml files. End. Yep. Then we come down here. Def. Validate video files. Validate files. Give me all the videos. Give me the video files. Boop. End. Hi, Jessica Care. Thank you so much for following. Bug Mechanics says, by the way, I've been using the app so much. I love it. Watch the Eureka sessions. Eureka's on my bucket list. I want to go. I've been using it for watching more videos too. Yeah, not lately. Lately I've been feeling a little burnt out, so I've started watching Ian Kyo and his cooking videos, because like I'm trying to make healthier meal preps. Yeah, my sister's really into Greek yogurt, and so I'm trying to figure out, and she gets kind of sick if I use any of the like jarred sauces, so I'm trying to figure out how to do like more of that. Alright, so validate speakers and videos. I'm gonna leave this one. Validate video IDs. Duplicate video ID found. Do I have one for that? I do not. I'm not gonna do it right now. But that could easily be one. City alias. Validate video city names. Yep. Let's see. But I guess is yummy. Yeah, I saw a Marry Me sauce. That looked really, really good. Yep, that one just needs to at some point get turned into an actual validator. Speaker.slides. And that's like the whole that thing. Alright, so this is validate event assets dimensions. Asset dimensions. These are all the images. And see, for that one we just say event assets. Event assets. Alright, validate all YAML files. So that's going to be yerba check. Alright, so this is event, venue, speakers. Validate speakers and videos.none. Speakers and videos.yaml. And see, now we just come in here and validating videos.yaml files. Boop. Validating speakers.yaml is in sync. Do I still need this one? I think I still need this one. I'm not sure though. because this one's huge. Okay. Take this whole thing and run it. Stefan in Tech says, howdy chill, read the contributed guide for this repo, looking to fill in some missing info for the upcoming events like speakers, sponsors, etc. Do I need to submit an issue first or just go in? Feel free to just go in. So I recommend submitting an issue if you're trying to do something like larger, like we've had some people who like added an iCalendar integration or like who wanted to add a new RSS feed. For new features, I recommend creating an issue, getting buy-in first, and having that conversation. For like event data, absolutely just go in. Yeah. It's kind of one thing that might be good to look at. Let me see. So like we're starting to have a lot more of the upcoming data. Like I'm even having trouble finding things to work on. But this one is new. So like these are all cases where the talk date is outside of the actual event dates. So what you would do for any of these is you would find it. Oh, hang on. Ignore the meetups. Yeah, ignore the meetups maybe. But yeah, you would go and you would find, are these all meetups actually? These are all meetups. These are all meetups. Hang on. This is the only one that is an actual event. Are the rest of these meetups? Okay, this might not even be a good place to look anymore. Yeah, this one might not be a good place to look anymore. Involvements might be a good choice. Micro says, I just did a lot of data cleanup this week. Yeah, I'm gonna be 100% real. I've been having trouble finding stuff to work on. Yeah, like actual events for me to input values into. This one might be good though. Missing video cues might be a good one. Because it's something where you're like looking at it and you're watching the video and then you're inputting the data. Yeah, that's a good one. And that's an easy one for me to review too. Well, there aren't a lot of these either. Not published talks. Yeah. The YouTube ones, like if the YouTube video is already on the site, it's easy. If the YouTube video isn't, you have to go get an API key. So I normally don't recommend those to people. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. We're gonna have a really fun time when we get to the the hack day and we're like, yeah, we have things to work on. Promise. Okay. Let me run binlint. Stefan in Texas! I'm gonna be at the RubyConf Hackspace to Collab IRL. Yay! That's so exciting! I'm really looking forward to meeting you there. Ah! Okay. Let's see. In my process is looking what's upcoming 30, 60, 90 days out. Those are absolutely like where we put the most attention and need the most attention. But yeah, I have been watching Marco Roth do a lot of data cleanup this week. So there's a lot out there. I'm trying to, so I think the sponsors might be a gap, but I've been working on improving the sponsors generator. Yeah. Mark Ross says there's still a lot of really old events. My alternate for today, like literally me saying like, oh, what am I gonna work on today, was gonna be, let's see, pull requests, not pull requests, issues. Google Slides embed might be a good one. This one is a bug that is driving me a little bit nuts. It's discrepancies in talk count when managing attendance. That one's an easy one. It's just updating the URL. Where did it go? I try to veer away from like the meetup ones because we don't have a lot of stuff built up around that yet, and we are refactoring the meetup soon-ish. Maybe, hopefully. Where did it go? This one. Yeah, I would just do like one of these events. Pokemon says there's a bunch of stuff. That's so cool. Mark Ross says check the pinned issue. Yeah, so there's the pinned issue too. Oh, that's a good point. Yes. A lot of these have been like, oh, okay. I want to do the Grill RB one. I want to watch the Grill RB videos. Stefan says, I noticed on one of the conferences, if someone puts to do in their description, it adds to the to do section. I think RubyConf I spotted it, but I can either submit an issue or fix. Yeah, no, totally. If you see like a to do and you have that information, feel free to fill in that information. Like that's why we put the to dos out there, and we reuse grapefruit for that. So I like to call them grapefruit to dos because I think grapefruit is just like the cutest name ever. But yeah, those to-dos are absolutely like, I consider those like issue exists already. We're looking for PRs for those. All right, let's see. Mark Ross says maybe for Hack Day we can also rework the contribution sections. That might be a good idea. It's coming up in like a week. Or like ways how we can better surface what's to do. Pokemon says Rubius like cute names and creativity. Grapefruits is such a cool name for a lip. No, it's not grapefruit. It's grapefruit. Hang on. Let me. Fruit. I'm in the wrong spot. Command Shift F. Grapefruit. It's grapefruit. Yeah, it's grapefruit. I love it. And it's so, because it's like a little grep. We should probably make this like this though, because Dalma has some to-dos that are showing like in her description that are showing up in the thing. Pokemon is so cool. Yes. Well, and maybe we do something like, I don't know, that would be hard. I'm trying to think about a way to put it in the description that doesn't like, yeah. Maybe the regex there could be better. Because it's not a comment. Yeah, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm pretty good at regex, so I might, that should probably be an issue too. Micro says could use yerba to get the comments. But then we won't use grapefruit. Stefan in Tech says, is everyone hanging out on Twitch watching the stream? So I have been streaming on Twitch since 2019. I have been streaming on YouTube since this year. So you are one of the people helping me to establish my YouTube community. But yes, everybody's over on Twitch. Nightmare Joker says plants and fruits, gemstones and their colors are like the standard theme. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, interesting. Include YAML and YAML. Raywrap, file match, forpath, GitHub repo, class to do. I like it. But yeah, doing that for the event series and the event would be helpful. And I think that what we could do for the event, I'm kind of wondering if we could like, I don't know, like maybe add the fact that some of the tabs are missing. Because like for the involvements, we don't really push those. And I do like the way the to-dos bubble up. And I like the to-do better than I like the like missing tab situation. Anyway, I'm getting really off track. I've come all the way to the bottom. It's time for me to run bin rails rake validate all. And I'm kind of like, oh, you know what? Hang on. It broke already. Okay. Unrecognized command help. Already initialized constant event asset generator logo padding ratio. Previous definition of logo padding ratio was here. Unrecognized command help. Unrecognized command rake. Okay, so I did it wrong. Marco Ross says, oh, Stefan, are you giving the lightning talk at Rubicop? Hi, Marco. Yes, that's me. I'm also volunteering as well. Oh, okay. Hang on. Well, since I'm not doing it today, do you want to do the involvements for RubyConf? We do need that. Okay, let me go over here. Events. By the way, July 14th through 16th, me and Marco are going to be at RubyConf, and Stefan too. If you're going, tell us. Coding with Caleb says hello. Hello! Are you going to RubyConf? Because I know we asked, and you were like, I'm not sure. Okay. To-dos. Right. Okay. This is Dalma's talk. And Dalma's like, whenever I'm asked why I like Ruby, my answer is always simple and always the same. Because she's cute. That's my tongue-in-cheek nod to the community's shared sentiment that Ruby's elegance makes her. And in your brain, you're like, where is the to-do? But if we go open this up and we go look for Dalma's talk. Oh, here it is. And jump to it. And we scroll all the way over to the side. I didn't set out to be a leader. I just wanted our to-dos to stop piling up. Background says, oh, awesome. Looking forward to it. Yay. Coding with Caleb says, I don't think I will. Yeah, by now you would know, so I'm going to take that as a no. Yep. There's no help one, but there's a Ruby events one. Okay. Yeah, so maybe we need like... Mark Ross says, I think there are a few to do in descriptions. Yeah, we need a way to like exclude those. Okay. Oh, I need to remember. Stefan in tech says, likewise, Marco, first Ruby event for me and first time meeting folks within the Ruby community. Been watching recent Ruby events lately. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, I know which talk you're giving. Hang on. Hang on. This was the pull request that we did at the beginning of this conference, or at this stream. PR. Me. Where did it go? Pull Coding Gibbs says, if I had some other stuff going on in the US, I would make the trip, but it's hard for me to use up the energy for just one event. Yeah, that's fair. Rails World and Rocky Mountain Ruby are 4 days apart. Mike Ross says, I merged it. Whoops. Okay. Let me go over here to actions. And this isn't that far. Oh, 5 minutes ago. So you merged it while Stefan and I were talking about it. Okay. Well, and if CI's done, you know what? I'll let you seed too. Okay. Never took yourself. Good job. Yes, I also Plug Mechanicus like you also have Human Essentials. Yeah, so this was one of the projects that I did previously. So one of the things I like to do is I just, instead of having Bang Project, I have all of the different projects that I've worked on. So this one was Diaper Bank, an open source inventory management app for charities that redistributes goods. Human Essentials. They focus a lot more, I think, or maybe one of the new things that they're working on is, hang on. What do you call them? It's not like menstrual products. products to help you manage your menstruation. I've forgotten the word. But yeah, they focus more on those now. Human essentials. Non-perishable human sanitary essentials. All right. Unrecognized command rake. That's what I was doing. Oh, I'm so distractible. I haven't really eaten much today. I really just, like, I've only had one little egg bite and some of these, like, steak jerkies. Makara says, so wait, what about the involvement generator? No. Done. Makara says, do you have the names of the other people volunteering? Maybe that could be a good first PR to add involvements.yaml for RubyConf. Yes. I do think that would be a good idea, Stefan. About. Okay, so this year under about, they have all of the people for the involvements, including myself. And then they have Ruby Central staff, and then they have the volunteers down here. But I also know that these aren't all of the volunteers. Also, hi, Stefan! It's you! And if you have Nico's last name, that'd be really helpful. Nightmare Joker says generic feminine products. Yes, even the guys should know what those are for when they are inevitably sent on a shopping excursion to get some. I mean, you don't get the generic ones. Plug Mechanica says, I always munch some nuts while programming. It's super nutritive, I think. I like that. Okay. I'm gonna try. Bin Rails validate all. Get your points in. Plug Mechanica says, no way! I met some of those people at Yuruko! Yeah. Let's see. Does this count as a failure? No, this is the previous one. This is the new one. Marco says CI for what? I'm just using CI for like this thing. So y'all need to get your votes in if you're on Twitch for whether or not this is going to pass with no errors. I've done bin rails validate all. Nightmare Joker says generic is cheap and at least over here not really different from the expensive brand version. In the US, yikes. I feel like generic is normally like the cardboard applicator. I'd do generic pads though. The poll has ended. Will CI pass? 1. So we gotta vote for no. And that is correct. Validate talk date files no longer exists. I did a poll, not a prediction. I'll do a prediction next time so y'all can win points. All right, talk date files. Talk date files. Yep, I deleted this one. Instead, we have it inside of our validator. We do validate video files instead. All right, now I'm gonna go in here. I'm just gonna check these really quick. This is validate.rake. I don't want that. I want validators. Validators. All right, so we got event recordings. Applicable file path. Pattern is event.yaml. So event recordings publish date should be for event.yaml. validator. Event recordings publish date. There it is. And we know that one exists. This is the first one though. Asset dimensions, I saw that one, know it exists. Event.yaml is colors have assets. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this down here. I'm just gonna use this one. Colors have assets. Good job, me. We're gonna click down here. Q duration. Who are you for? What are you? Q duration. Module function. Okay, so you're not actually a validator. You're helping something. Duplicate YouTube channels. Your pattern is event.yaml. Okay. Your event city path is event.yaml. Event city names. Good. Event dates. Event.yaml. Joker says there are things you can have a patent on in the US that would never be acceptable here, so they have to find novel ways. I don't think it's even that, because that's a licensing thing. You know what I mean? Okay, event.yaml. Event recordings publish date. I see what happened here. These are, yeah, okay. I see what happened here. Schema array, initialize file path, path to schema. So this is all of them. But I don't think we use this one. We now use Yerba. Polka Mechanica says, Nightmare Joker, are you talking about the licenses from the projects? No, we're still talking about period products. Polka Mechanica says, yeah, I think open source is good as long as you respect the license and you can just fork. Yeah. No, Nightmare Joker here is talking about Human Essentials, where we were talking about how they started focusing on... I'm going to use the word period products, because that's the one that I would use. Nightmare Joker says, yes, but the license costs money, and while they are obligated to license, they are allowed to dictate the price? How do you dictate the price? That one seems a little odd. Okay, so this one is speakers or talks, and it's videos. Speakers or talks. Talk dates. Videos, talk dates. Hang on a second. There we go. S comes before T in the alphabet. All right, now we're gonna come back to this one. Talk kind, included. Talk published at, included. Talk short kind, included. Unique speaker fields. Check. Unique speakers. Check. Okay. We got all of them. All of the validators belong to something. Where is Q duration used? I bet that's used inside the one that I haven't really fully read yet. Colors have assets. Yes, yes, lovely. Close that. Q duration. Let me search. Q duration. Talk kind. Duration equals duration in seconds. And that's less than short duration threshold. And that's duration in seconds. Less than. Okay. I'm gonna do something that I think kind of needs to be done. I'm gonna look. You're good. You're good. This is print validator errors. I'll go through and I'll mess with some of those later. Today I'm focused on kind, and I'm focused on making sure that this kind of like doesn't happen again. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but we're gonna open the generator. Now, which ones do I have? I have in this validator. Oh yeah, I have to run it again. Okay, I'm gonna do bin rails validate all. Let's try this again. Oh, hang on. Software patents are also problematic though. They don't exist here. Pokemechanica says, I could never imagine having menstruation every month. I can. I can only imagine. Would be scary. Not gonna lie. Terrifying. Pokemechanica says, it's kind of taboo for men to talk about, I fear. I remember also there was open source about helping migration processes or the law of people to handle multiple cases. Something like that. Or maybe it was misplaced as children. Not misplaced children. Not necessarily migration processes. You're talking about CASA. So the deal with CASA is if there are children that are in the foster system, they set a court-appointed special advocate to help them with their tests. Stefan in Texas, looking at previous events, Marco, I'll add the involvements for RubyConf this year. Appreciate the recommendation. If you find any issues, if you run into anything that could be improved with the involvements guide, please let us know. And also feel free to submit a PR for that. You know, just in your PR, explain like, here's the change I want to make. Here's why I want to make it. And then go for it. Nightmare Joker says it's really simple. Company registers a patent, then releases a product at a very profitable price. Another company can license the patent at a price where the license and the manufacturing cost eclipses the patent holder's retail price. So they couldn't compete. Microsoft says, awesome, great, thank you. With regards to Stefan. It's really simple. Company registers a patent. I feel like that's what I know about already in the patent process. I don't think that's different in the US versus elsewhere. Okay, we're gonna go in Twitch chat. We're gonna run a prediction. The prediction will be over when it's finished. Okay, so the prediction is start prediction. Will test pass? So in this case, will test pass is checking will validate all, pass or fail. It's running. Stefan in Texas, pass. Okay, I'm glad we've got yours, like, even though I don't have predictions in YouTube, I'm glad we've got yours on record. Let's see. It's running. It's taking a really long time validating those videos.yaml files. I actually think like a more minimal version of binlint may, so I have to go look and see where the token cost is coming from. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering if this might be one of the places. No, it's a failure. Looking at the CI, it's like looking at a movie. Okay, let me look. Let me do my slash prediction. No new predict, like you gotta cut it off. Choose outcome. Red. Pokemechanica says, dang. Yeah, points lost. Points lost. Okay, validate speaker file. Validate talk published at files. Alright, let me open validate.rake. What line is this? Validate talk published at files. Command F, Command V. Get out of here. Oh, and I know this one isn't there. And talk short kind. Validate speakers or talk files. I don't think that one is. Let me check. I think that one is in. Let me think. I think this one is in the videos though. Do I have validate video city names? I'll just search this one. Validate speakers or talks. Gone. Okay. Deleting it. Is validate video city names? Validate video city. Validate video city names is because it's not a validator yet. Got it. Okay. Addendum says that long check makes you start questioning the changes you've made. Nightmare says undefined variable. We deleted some methods. Yeah. If nobody votes red, then you have nothing to win. Michael Roth says this. It's like we're running all of these validations on like all of them. Okay. Time for another round. Prediction. Start prediction. Will test pass. I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna run it. And to go back to if nobody votes red, then you have nothing to win. Thankfully, all the points are imaginary, so Twitch just gives them to you for freebies. I think, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure. It's not like real gambling. Ah. If I were organized, and I did think about this, but I was sitting at my desk and I grabbed this like 7 minutes before the stream, then I would have, yeah, I would have I would have made a channel point reward where you could redeem me eating what is this called? Organic fancy jerky. Green! Okay, nope, stop. Nobody click anything. No new prediction points. Choose outcome. Green! My green friends win. All of you who believed in me. Mike Ross says, also, I think we could parallelize these checks. This is operating on static data. I agree. I completely agree. Phantom glitch redeemed hydrate. Yeah, I agree. Okay. I'm gonna pull that down. Validator. Yep, I like it. These are just static. And I'm not gonna bother with the base class right now. Clearly I need one. But I'm not gonna bother with it right now. Git commit -pm. Hang on. I need to do a git add -i. I'm doing this exclusively to add the untracked file. I want the validator. Yeah, thank you. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to patch add. I'm going to patch add this validate.rake, and we're going to read through what it does. So instead of manually defining all of these fields, instead I do static validators, validator, event validation classes. I could call this base or something. Could call this base. I'm gonna let you do a poll real quick. Also, I did hydrate. Poll. Base class. So that's gonna be static validators base. Static validators validator. Validator does not fit. Validator does not fit. Stefan, if you wanted to put your opinion in the chat, I'll add your points to the poll. I feel like static validators validator not fitting in the Twitch poll thing implies that it should be base, but I also feel like static validators base event validator classes Poga Mechanicus is so silly linter. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and go through this. Okay, so these are the ones that we deleted. We deleted validate talk date files. We deleted validate talk file published at. Validate talk published at in videos YAML. Validate talk kind in videos YAML. Validate that short talks have an explicit kind. Validate speakers were talk files. And then, yeah, all of those gone. Then we come down here and we say validators, validator, speaker validator classes. Yes. Then we have validate video files, which looks at video validator classes. Yes. And then I renamed this one from event asset dimensions to event assets. That way, if we have other event asset validators in the future, it'll just use this one. Updated that one. What did I change here? Oh yeah, I changed this one to validating video files. And then I deleted all of these from validate all, so that it uses the thing that we have. The thing that I'm noticing as I go through this, here it is. Yes. .none means it's, yes. .none means it's the all. .any means it's the one-off. Stefan says, I'm listening in, hanging out while doing some household chores at the moment. Yes. Nightmare Jugger says, all the validators are valid. Stream Element says, the poll has ended. Base class 1. Let me... Oh, it's actually 50-50. It's 50-50 and nobody spent channel points in order to nudge the direction. All right. I guess it's up to me. But I put it a poll. I put it as a poll because I didn't want to decide. I've already got it committed with Validator. If I want to change it in the future, I can. Yeah, so now we're going to get commit dash message. And I'm going to say create a base. Nightmare Joker says, I didn't notice someone else voted. Poga Mechanica says, ugh, missed the poll. This is what happens. There are consequences. None of that. Ah, get out of here. All right, create a base validator class for all the validators. Include array of validation classes. Boop. And now we're going to do the second half of this. I'm going to go over here to my video. Well, it's the talk generator, but talk generator test. And then down here where I validate the talk file, I have this static validator schema array, talk kind, etc. No. Oh, I love that I have it already written. Oh, that makes me happy. Hang on. I need to include this one because you can't do like a yerba check schema yet. Micro says it would be nice to have them show up right in your YAML file. I can do it with the annotations, but oh, hang on. No, wait. Can we do that? I'm thinking. I'm wondering if we can make validators for Ruby LLM schemas, but I don't think we can because it's interdependent. Some of them I think are just like Ruby LLM schema stuff. But then I have to ask the question, like for the Ruby LLM schema stuff, Macross says, if it's a Rubocop plugin, I think it might just work. That's worth digging into. Nightmare Jerker says everything has consequences. The best you can hope for is that they're good and desirable ones. Can I have that one? Can I have that one? I think that would be cool and I want to investigate it. But, and it's a big but, I would have to wait until after September, which I know isn't what you want to hear, but I really like, I'm curious about that one, and I want to see if I can play around with that and get that to work. Oh, but I understand if it's like, no, we should really get this in sooner. I kind of want to do that one though. I think that would be cool. Plug Mechanica says, every time I come here, I feel like actually having fun from programming, and I can even just like participate while also programming. Thanks for this great stream, Jill. Aw, thank you, Plug Mechanica. I love having you in my community. Yeah, no, I have a lot of fun doing this, and I have more fun streaming than I do at my day job, which is not really surprising. Okay, so this is video validators class that each do, I need to like dot merge. Well, I mean, I could do that, or I could just do the schema array, right? And yeah, I'd be checking it twice, but honestly, that's not a bad thing. Yes, yes. It's not the worst thing in the world. Nightmare Joker 2 says, stream at your day job, double your fun. I thought that's how it was gonna be, but that was not my experience when I did DevRel. Yeah, in my experience when I did DevRel, it was a little bit different. Okay, I'm gonna run, I'm actually, you know what? I don't have a schema for that one. I mean, I do, but I also don't, but I do. What is in schema? Array. CFP, featured cities, involvements, and then there's schema. Schema array does have speakers.yaml. I could theoretically. Speaker exists a real thing. Speaker exists is a real thing, but speaker exists is for the videos. It's where I want the errors to show up. Errors. That's not right. And then I don't think this is schema array. I think this is schema. Because if I go to schema, I can see here's event, schedule, series, venue. Mark Ross says, to be honest, I think with lint roller, it's something you might just be able to do on stream today. But I'm fixing the kinds. Given it's all already super structured and in Ruby. I'll look, well, no, I like to read through all the documentation and read it out loud. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing either. I'm supposed to be devoting all my time and attention to generators until September, which is when I give the talk about generators and Ruby events. But the next thing I have to do is like the little yerba update for the sponsors to work. Well, and I said I was going to do the involvements, but then I wanted the kind to work the way that I'm very distractible. I'm like trying to argue myself into investigating lint roller. Lint roller, Ruby, Rubicop. Let's see. Mark Roth is laughing at me. Plug the Mechanica says, I like generators. OMG, Chael, have you tried building new apps from templates? Here's the thing. I don't build new apps that often. I haven't done it in ages. Idunum says you can resist yourself, lol. Well, I've always wanted to get to know, like, Rubicop better. Oh, is it a standard RB thing? That's interesting. Okay. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I gotta run a prediction. I'm gonna run binlint again. I should make this prediction like a button. Yeah, it's just will test pass. Makarov says involvements. I know. I need to get the involvements. So here's why I'm focusing a lot on the generators before September. I am giving a talk at Rails World. Let's zoom in. I'm giving a talk at Rails World about generators and like how they can kind of bridge the gap between contributors and between AI in order to make like all of that experience better. Because I think that a CLI plus a skill is a really good way of working with AI. And if you're talking about generating code, like that's what a generator is designed for, and your generators become a CLI that all of your contributors are already comfortable and familiar with. Thank you for following Kinnis and Ships. So what I really want to do is I want to have a slide where we compare with the skill in the generators versus without. And so what I want to do is I want to take all of the Rails World event files, write up what they all are in like a template, like describe like here are the talks, here's the kind, here is the whatever. And then I'm going to delete the actual event files, generate them with the generators and the skill file, and then record the token cost, and then delete the generators in the skill file and have it do it again completely from scratch and compare the token cost of it having to do the analysis and understand how to do this thing versus using the skill in the CLI. And then I want to take that and expand it to like all that sort of stuff. Pokemon Mechanica says, yeah, to be honest, even sounds so cool. Is there a very advanced MCP server for generators? Sounds like AI could take so much advantage, I think. I really think it would be possible. Oh. I mean, I was kind of thinking about this as like somebody else should do this. And now I'm kind of like, that's actually kind of a cool idea. But like, you could generate MCP tools for generators automatically. It has the usage instructions. You could take all of the options and arguments and translate them into parameters. And then instead of like gutting an existing tool, you could use the generator to generate a tool. Because you've got a standard interface for like the thing that you're trying to do. Pokemon is, so it comes up with it on the spot. True. Yeah, I do feel like normally it just kind of like comes up with it. But like so one of the things that I've been doing recently is I've been putting examples for the different types inside of the usage for our generator, which is a place that's accessible to both the contributors and it's accessible to the machine. So I'm making, because one of the things I found is that if I documented it inside docs, it basically never pulled that documentation into the context. But it would, if I told it to run a command, run that command. And the command is -- help. So it got all of the context it needs for all of the different examples. And so I've been building out my examples there to be like, hey, if you need like this, these are the parameters that you pass and all that sort of stuff. Anyway. That's what I do. Sham Grunt says, hiya, Ruby. Hiya. Am I Ruby now? Pokemon says, of course, it makes sense if it's kind of integrating the docs and the help. Yes. So like, let me pull it up. Usage. Yeah, so here's an example. To create a talk for the event Blue Ridge Ruby with only a title, this is the title. For the speaker, use the following command. So this is how you would communicate it to a person and to an AI, and you'd be like, here it is. This will create or update this. To create a lightning talk for this, use this command. I do think I could probably put some more... I should probably indent both of these, and this would be the heading. Yeah, that's probably the way to do that. I probably need to do that. But yeah, to create an empty lightning talk block, to create or update a block, to create a keynote with a multi-line description. Here's the multi-line description, because I was having trouble with that. Shamgarant says, what are you working on, Shale? Lemur says hello. Shamgaranak says sounds interesting. Thank you. So I said that I was going to be working on the involvements, but then I did a stop to do the lightning talks. And then Marco and I disagreed about how the lightning talks should be done. And I managed to convince Marco. Yay. And then I got distracted because I took all of the validators that are here and I'm about to go put them in all the generator tests so that the validators have to match. Like whatever the generator produces has to pass the validators in addition to the schema. And then maybe I'm gonna figure out how to do RuboCop rules for the validators. So I was supposed to work on 3 things, and then I did none of them. I did none of them. Makara says that summary could work for any stream. I started off doing this, and then Marco and I disagreed, and I won the argument, and now I'm working on something completely different. Technically, you won the lint roller argument. Stefan says, also hanging out with the Chill Codes community. Looking forward to seeing you, Marco, and everyone else at the conference. Aw, I'm gonna take that as a bye. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the conference too. Make sure to find me. Or I'll probably find you. I'm on the program committee, so I assume I'll meet the volunteers. Mouse Foop. Hey, Miles! Mouse Foop says, RuboCop rules are easy. All cops enabled. False. So we have these validators, which I've talked about a bunch, but like, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the validators and we're gonna turn them into RuboCop rules. Maybe. Shamgranat says, oh, cool project. Yeah, so maybe I should tell you what the actual project is. I'm working on a project called Ruby Events. Ruby Events is all about like indexing different events. So like these are all of the Ruby events that are coming up and that are happening, and we track all of the videos and stuff like that. So, oh, it's Carmen. So like you can see all the speakers and you can see all of like the videos and stuff like that. One moment, please. Let me just bookmark that and favorite that. Now, this is the most overbuilt event app that has ever been built. That's what Ruby Event says. Shamgranat says, I'm working on voice AI. Ooh, I've been wanting to try out Whisper, but I haven't yet. Makarat says to Stefan, see you in like a week. It's so soon. I have to pack. And like, it's so soon. And I have to pack. And that scares me a little bit. All right, standard RB. Lint Roller, a plugin specification for linters. Lint Roller is an itty-bitty plugin API for code analysis tools like linters and formatters. It provides plugins for those tools to load extensions and specify custom rule sets. As of April 2025, both Standard RB and RuboCop rely on this gem for publishing plugins. And because Lint Roller only specifies the basic lifecycle hooks a plugin system might need, as opposed to configuration formats or protocols, there's nothing preventing other tools like Rufo or Breakman from adopting it. GM Granat says, it's good. All the best, buddy. Thanks. I'm just gonna assume because nobody else is on it that that's for me. Okay. Let's see. With broader support, a single gem could theoretically bundle separate configurations for many different analysis tools in a single version release. Imagine a Seattle-style gem, an official set of sorbet recommendations, or an easy-to-distribute set of organization-wide styles. How to make a plugin. If you want to make a plugin, the first thing you should do is extend Lint Roller plugin with a custom class. Let's take this example plugin for banana-related static analysis. I have an initialize and a config. I say about Lint Roller, about new, name Banana Roller version 1.0. Marco, you said I could potentially get this done today. I don't have faith in me to get this done. Support supported context engine Rubocop, def rules, lint roller rules new, type path, config format Rubocop, value, path name, new directory, join, config default.yaml. And that's pretty much it. Just a declarative way to identify your plugin, detect whether it supports the given lint roller context, lint roller rules object. I don't have faith in this. I don't have faith in my ability to do this without more research. I don't have faith in my ability to do this without more research. Would it even be Rubocop? Because it's not Ruby. Micro says, you just need a way to translate our errors to the Rubocop errors. Idenum says it's bananas. When custom comp, creating a comp for date time now usage. Def on send. Okay, it inherits from Rubocop cop base. The def node matcher method. This is matching a Ruby AST node. This is Miles, who's also going to RubyConf, who says, yeah, it would be nice to meet up, Stefan. And Marco, you'll be at the SF meetup the week after. It'll be a very Marco July for me. Macross says, you don't want to look at Rubocop rules since they operate on Ruby files. Yes. That's why I'm not sure how to do this. Configuration of banana-related code. Because don't I need to put the engine that it supports? Nightmare Joker says, a very Marco July. Oh my. Every month is busy for Marco. Hang on. Let's go to rubyevents.org. Let's go to Marco Roth. Okay. We should break these down by like when they're happening. Oh, I can see this. Attended events. Maybe this one? Okay, so this one's July, September, October, November. So like, and then let's go back in time. June, May, April, March, January. So February. You got like a tiny month-long break in February. Addendum says needs more time. I think this is gonna take me a little bit more research in order to figure out how this works. Only known value right now is Rubocop, but nothing would stop Rufo or Ruby format or Prettier from adding support without a change to the gem. Config format, if the type is path, string, or path name, whatever object type makes sense given the config format. If something went wrong for the error. Taking standard custom, for example, its gem spec contains standard custom plugin. I would throw this at a robot, but I don't think I know how to do this. Which maybe is a sign that I shouldn't throw it at a robot. This is agents. Oh, this is just for... Wait, hang on. Now. I was curious. There's no wiki. Go back to the README. There's no wiki. There's links to key files. This is what I had to do to bridge herb into Rubocop. Okay. that 3 times over here, didn't I? Yep. It's not what I'm supposed to be working on. I'm supposed to be working on kind. You're gonna make me run late. Adenim says no docs too. There are some, but I think they're assuming that you know what you need to do. Okay. RuboCop herb, implement herb integration. Wait a second! It works with RuboCop? Wait, when is this? February 28th. Wait. Can RuboCop do herb linting now? Baccarat says this is not merged. Ah! Okay. For a second there, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna make it so much easier for me to... Anyway. Runs the herb linter on ERB HTML template files and reports offenses at RuboCop findings. Class linting base, template extensions, severity map, error warning, info hint, freeze. On new investigation, investigate herb. On other file, investigate herb. Return unless template file, herb linter available. Herb lint, source file, name, path. Return if result.nil. Result.offenses.each. This implies that I can run the herb linter from Ruby. Someone official says hi. Nightmare Joker says, this is fine. Pull repo, merge locally, build and install. Someone official one says, what's Ruby? Isn't that a programming language? Yes, Ruby is a programming language designed for a joyful developer experience. It is the language that I have made my living with for the past 10 years. And I enjoy it very much, and it's very pretty. Build range. Okay. So this is my, like, linting base. Cop herb. So this is, lib, RuboCop cop, herb cops. Require relative herb linting. RuboCop module herb. All cops include ERB, HTML, ERB, HTML, ERB, HTM. Exclude. Wait, lint exclude ERB, HTML, ERB. Style exclude. Now I'm confused. Because this looks like it excludes everything. Oh, I get it. It's excluding all of these files from the RuboCop naming, RuboCop metrics, RuboCop security. Okay, that makes sense. Plugin Mechanica says, could fork to another branch and rebase merge just to try it out. Maybe it works, then you can go back if it doesn't. So I'm looking at this to understand how herb manages to create RuboCop rules for that. Someone official one says, well, I use Python. It's pretty easy too. I like Python. I think Python's a good language. It's dynamic. The typing is like, I don't think it's duck typing, but it's not static typing. Yeah. Nightmare Jugger says, and if the developer experience isn't joyful for some reason, you still get to play with gems all day. This is true. I do get to play with gems all day. Okay, so this is require lint roller, module RuboCop, module herb, class plugin, lint roller plugin. This is the default.yaml. RuboCop herb, RuboCop integration for the herb linter, config path, linting test. Okay, get out of here. Let me think about this. Template file detection. This is a lot of, maybe. Well, let's try it. This is at least a little bit more. Micro says, so it exposes a single rule and reports all offenses as part of that fake RuboCop rule. Yeah. This investigate herb file path, return if source.empty. Available. This build range feels very doable because I have a begin position and an end position. And I think that would be my begin line, end line, maybe? But it's got this buffer, process source buffer, offense location start line. I've got line, I've got column. I've got line, I've got column. I don't have like buffer. Start line, begin position, start column. And where is start column? Oh, there's start column. Okay. All the magic is that line 50 through 55 in linting.rb. I don't think I'm actually worried about the magic part as much as I am this. Like all of the... I'm pretty magical, but I struggle with getting all of the config stuff right and getting it to do anything at all. Once I have something that I'm like, this runs a thing, I'm pretty good, but before I have that this runs a thing, I struggle. Fucking config path. Linting. But I will come back and like look at this and pull through it and all that sort of stuff. Okay. I think let's start with the lint roller plugin. Lib Rubocop. What should we name it? I don't think we can name it Yerba. Can we name it Yerba? I think there was a generator for plugins. Someone official says, oh wow, I just looked into it. Ruby seems really easy. Yeah, loops are kind of confusing with the end function. We don't really do loops. We do each on arrays. Rubocop Ruby events. Rubocop Ruby events, but the rest looks easy. I like Rubocop Ruby events. You think there's a generator for plugins? Like a generator for lint roller? How to make a plugin. Plugin says, in Ruby we don't have the colon and we end our statements and indentation is not mandatory, but in all the other ways it's similar. It has similar to Python. We even have similar syntax as the Python comprehensions with .each and iterators, and we have a bunch of sugar syntax. Like for regex, etc. Even it's a little bit faster than Python. There's been a ton of attention on performance from the Ruby community recently. Phantom Glitch says, I'm learning Ruby right now. Having come from Python and C++, it's really nice to use. Oh, Rubocop extension generator. Rubocop extension generator. Let's see. A generator of Rubocop's custom cops gem. Add this line to your application's gem file and then execute bundle install. Or install it yourself as gem install Rubocop extension generator. But this makes a whole gem. I don't think we want a whole gem, do we? We want something lighter, right? It looks kind of like the jump from C++ to Python again, like the easy version of Python. Yeah, I'm not sure about the easy version of Python, but I am happy that I don't have to deal with white space. This is not what I'm supposed to be working on. You can use it to scaffold and then move it to the Ruby Events app. I feel like I might go for like the copy-paste approach. This is probably why I run into issues. This is probably what gets me into trouble. Lib. Generators, guard schema tasks, templates, authenticator. New folder. Rubocop. Let me double check it. Plugin.rb. Rubocop. Cop. Herb. This is a bad idea. I haven't eaten anything today. Ruby events. Do I need to call it Rubocop Ruby events? I don't think so. Rubocop Ruby events. Plugin.rb. I don't know about this. Require lint roller. Don't I have to like install lint roller? I assume I have to gem install lint roller. It has nothing in here, by the way. There's nothing in here about installing lint roller. Microprocess is already part of Rubocop. Oh, it's true. It's already part of Rubocop. Someone official says, "What are you making? Like, what is that?" So yeah, this is Ruby events. We're on an index to like. Okay, I'll do this again. So this is Ruby events. We're on a mission to index all Ruby events. That means we gather information about all of the events that are happening. And we gather all of the information about the videos that will be happening in the schedules and like all that sort of stuff. So for example, this is RubyConf, which is happening from the 14th to the 16th. Here are all the CFPs. We have the talks. We have the speakers. We have all of the people who are participating. Yay! We have the schedule. We have the venue. Come on, venue. There we go. With a pretty little map. We are the most overbuilt event app that has ever existed, which is why at the moment I am building a Rubocop extension for our custom validators for the YAML files we use to store the data. Pugmechanicus says, I think when you reply, the bang commands don't work. Maybe a stream elements bug, or perhaps intended. Random Glitch says, I wouldn't say it's an easy version of Python, more a CPP adjacent language with Python's language's easy to read philosophy. Just better in its unique ways. Pugmechanicus says, such a fun app. Yes, it's fantastic. I love it. I like it a lot. Okay. RubyEvents.org. And we'll make this a little bit simpler. Rubocop. No, what are you doing? Don't do that. Rubocop integration for our YAML file validations. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna save this. Rubocop Ruby events. Okay, yep. I want to replace that. Default.yaml. I don't know about this config path situation. That doesn't feel right. This is for Rubocop, 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 config path. I don't think... Let me go look at the banana plugin. Banana plugin. I think that default thing is being done in order to support... Yeah, I think that's being done in order to support the templates and the ERB stuff. Oh, but I guess I'd need that for the YAML stuff. Yeah. Fandom Glitch says, I'm so bored of Python at the moment. Lol, I'm very glad I got convinced to use Ruby for my new project. I think it's really like helpful to learn a new language and look at things from a new perspective. Okay, supported rules, lint roller rules, new, type path, config path, config path. Okay, so I think I do need this default.yaml. Let's go back to this one. some of this I'm like, I don't know if I need this part or if I don't need this part. All of this is not in the documentation. I don't think we need configs, but maybe it still requires a default config file. I think we do need that. Someone official. Ask Phantom Glitch, what's your new project? Alright, let me get into... Yeah, I think I do need this. I think I just copied the file path. I think I want to view file, raw, and then I'm going to steal this whole thing. Thank you. And this is going to be lib rubocop ruby events default.yam. Yeah, so that's going to be the same location as this one. New file, default.yaml. All right, and so all of these I don't need. I need this one. Yes. YAML, 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 YAML. Good. And now we'll go through here. We'll delete this one, delete this one, delete this one. Delete this one, delete this one, delete this one. Good. Are you getting it? No, you haven't. Okay, that's fine. It's not going to take me that long. Perfect. Save it. This is called herb linting. Ruby events linting. Yeah. Okay. I don't think this is a good idea. Is a good idea. Is a good idea. I don't think this is a good idea to do this today. This is the cop. These are the herb cops. We require relative herb linting. That's how I get my cop. So I'm going to go in here. New folder. Cops. Could also call it Ruby Events Validations or similar. Yeah, we could. Honestly, I'd be okay with naming them all linters. Yeah, Rubocop, cop. Hang on a second. Let me check the file path. Cop. So this is not in herb. And I don't need this version. Can I use infinity? Where's the version? One .0. Let's see. Yeah, I'd be okay with renaming all the validators linters. Okay, then cops does not go here. Cops goes in Rubocop. Yeah. And then Ruby events. Hang on. Oh, there's two of them. New folder. I could just call it new file. Validations. Not RB. Because it's the cop. But you do need a Rubocop Ruby events.rb file at the top level. That's the entry point Rubocop requires. Okay. I'm still like going through it. Phantom Glitch says, I'm rebuilding a recent project in Ruby. It's called Capcan, and it's client-server host-based intrusion detection platform focused around remote deployment management and access of the client monitoring programs. You can find the Python Rush Tellscape at my GitHub, github.com/cyberdevom. Let's see. I'm doing my web UI designs at the moment because I decided at 5 a.m. on Wednesday that I didn't like the old design at all. That happens. All right, so let's see. Cop. Herb cops. Herb cops. New file. Ruby events cops.rb. Is that the one Marco said? It is. Okay. Good, 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 good. I have handled this. This isn't a PR. This isn't a PR. This is a commit. I can't check that I've done files. Okay. I've done this one. I've done this one. This one is the contents of my cops file. This is a bad idea. Yep. And we'll do validations. Yep. And then, oh, for new line. Yep, that's exactly what you want. Okay. Is this gonna be fast enough? It's underscore cops.rb, but not sure that matters. Here we go. You know, it makes sense that it's underscore. I didn't do this one. Do I need this one? This is a dash. Do I need this one? That's the entry point, yeah. Okay, so that's the one that has the dash. Got it. Rename. You're the underscore. You're the dash. New file. That makes way more sense that you would be warning me about needing that one. Rubocop dash Ruby events. .rb. That's not right. Is that right? That is right. Weird. That's at the lib level. That's above any of these. Hey, get out of there. Come on. Highlight! This is annoying. Okay, go here. View file. Raw. A. C. Alt. Tab. I. Command V. This should be inside Rubocop. I shouldn't have to put it all the way at lib. Yes, I will move it. Yes. I will save this. Oh no. Come on. Okay, Vim worked. That scared me. It needs to be requirable using require Rubocop Ruby events. That's why it has to be at the top level of lib. Maybe? Have just remembered I need to update the readme of the old project. Now it's completed, abandoned, and I finished my degree. I get my grade back for my degree sometimes this month, I think. That's exciting. What is this authenticator? Admin constraint. Ah, that must be for Avo. Okay. Herb cops. Herb linting. I fixed that one. Yes. Yes. This has nothing in it. Do I need this? I bet I need this. Why do I need this? There's nothing in it. It's something dumb like it expects it to exist. Comps plugin. I need to update this one. Macro says you might need it for the namespace. I know I probably need it for the namespace. I just think it's dumb that I need it. Rubocop herb. Rubocop new file. Rubyevents.rb. Yes. And then yes. Let me go down to this one. Yes. 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 Rubocop plugin config path. Rubocop plugin event path. read this. You told me it would be easy. I should never have believed you. Micronaut says that's why Zywork is a great addition to the Ruby ecosystem. That means I should be able to put it anywhere. Supported. Config path. Or blending test. Okay, that's the test. This one. Okay, we're gonna get this one as raw. This is the one where I'm gonna basically have to kind of like rewrite and redo this one. And have to actually think about what it is I'm passing. Okay. Okay, so this is Rubocop. Okay, so this is runs the... Yes, I want that. Now, runs the Ruby events static validations on data / star.yaml files and reports errors as Rubocop findings. This does not apply. This comp acts as a bridge, running all enabled Ruby events rules in a single pass and mapping the results into this. Example. Ruby events. Validations enabled true. Template extensions. YAML. Error warning convention refactor. On new investigation, investigate herb. On other file, investigate Ruby events. Investigate herb. Okay, well, let's look. This doesn't really apply. Now, let's take a minute. On new investigation, investigate. Return unless template file. Process source, file path, return false, template extensions, any, path, end with extension. I mean, yeah, this is only going to run on YAML files. Let's see. Ruby events linter available. This should not be part of this PR. Build range, severity, map severity. You know what? Hang on. Tick mark. I'm gonna run all the validations. What else am I gonna do? Wrong constant name Rubocop Ruby events inferred by module from file. Rude. Rubocop Ruby events inferred by module from file. Alt click. Oh, you have to add Ruby events as an inflection in the inflections.rb. Since we are actually in a Rails app. Can I just do this? I didn't like that. Was not convinced. It says you didn't rename it. Oh, I didn't. Okay, hang on. I thought I did. Okay, there we go. Now it's redeemed. No. Did not like that. Did not pass go. Rubocop-Ruby events. Okay, let me rename. Why does it even look like that? Why is it capital R Rubocop? Let me see. How hard would it be to just make this lowercase Ruby events everywhere? Just add it to the inflections. Inflections. I already have it. Also add Rubocop while you're at it. Oh, is that the one that broke? Maybe that's the one that broke. Rubocop. Be so easy. You can get it done in a stream, chill. Yeah, it's not finding Ruby events, but it did find Rubocop now. Yeah, I think you may have to tell Zitework to ignore that file. This file? Oh, because it's taking this file and it's trying to... Yeah. It's trying to check this to be a class. I forgot how to do that. I had to do it for the CFP generator. CFP generator... CFP. That's not going to be helpful. Say work. No, nothing. Fun. All right. Control V. No. Let me try this. Config.autoloadlib. You might be able to just pass it a path too. I think autoload is already or I think lib is already excluded because I had to do that for the CFP generators. No, it should be an application, right? Autoload. Oh. Hang on. Let me look for, instead of application, development.rb. Autoload. I don't have an upload path here. Generators. Okay. Oh, assets tax, product buff, guard, generators. Rubocop. Right? No, that's not gonna work. Unload lib assets, Rubocop Ruby events. I think I'll have to do that. Mohammed Taha 5620 says, is that computer coding class? Yeah, so I'm just building things. I don't like, some people ask me, they're like, hey, do you have tutorials? Do you have guides? Do you have stuff like that? I have a couple on YouTube, like I have the git add dash whatever thing, or don't use git add dot. But like for the most part, at least my streams are just me building something and like having a conversation with y'all and seeing how it goes. And maybe plus.rb2. Let's try this. And if this doesn't work, we'll add .rb. That didn't work. So we're including schemas, but I don't think we need to. We exclude tasks. I guess templates is the only one we're auto-loading. And this looks like it's a form scaffold. That's good in the talk. Okay. Now, my understanding is that to get this to run, I need to go to rubocop.yaml. Not this one. Is it standard RB? Standard.yaml. There's nothing in here! Why? Standard. Here it is. Okay, you should at least tell me how to include it using your plugin. Plugins. Plugins. Rubocop Ruby events. This should fail right now. Oh, it did not like that. Yeah, it crashed a whole bunch. Not really surprising. Wait, I remember what I was doing. Git status. Git log. One line. Create a base validator class for all the validators. Include array of validation classes. Validator. Yeah, and I just added the schemas. And I wanted to add it to event speaker. Event generator test. Yes. Good. Clear all that out. Clear all that out. Clear out all that. Clear out all that. Alright, so it's clear to me. This has not been updated. Yeah, this has not been updated. And that's fine because I can basically just copy paste this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Seven yanking. Talk generator test. Event generator test. P. We'll just go in here and we'll say event schema. And these are the event validator. Yep. And then I'll just delete these. Yep. And nobody's the wiser. Okay. Git add -I. And then I'm gonna go through here. I don't think we need that schema validation anymore. It's part of the yerba file pipeline now. Yes. However, the schema file validation allows me to validate the schema inside the generators, which is, I think, why it wasn't deleted in the first pass with the yerba file. Also, I'm kind of wondering if we could just have yerba do the schema validation inside this file, because like we're talking about building ways to make it possible for Rubocop to do that schema validation. And if we got that working, we could get rid of the Red Hat YAML extension. It's already doing it, but I don't like, it's not doing it through the validators, and the validators are what's about to be Rubocop to allow us to see errors inside the editor. The yerba file does it as part of bin_lint. Okay, validators. I don't think I have any untracked, so I'm gonna do patch. I'm gonna do 2, 5, 6. Mark Ross says, don't we run yerba check as part of it? Again, so like with the bin_lint, we're running yerba check, but we're not getting inline validations with yerba check, which is what we're trying to get with this. And we don't run yerba check as part of, we don't run yerba check inside of the generator tests. Yes, we don't run yerba check inside the generator tests. Also, I don't know if there's a way to run yerba check. If we can run yerba check, we can just gut the existing validators and replace them with yerba check schema. And just do a mapping for the correct schema for the correct file. And that would mean I could get away with the difference between array and schema as well. Yes. Yes, adding this. Yes, adding this. Yes, adding this. Yes, replacing that. Yes, replacing that. Micro says we just shell out, but I'm sure we could also expose it to Ruby. If it was exposed to Ruby, we could just shove it into the validator, and then we wouldn't need to run, well, we'd still need to run yerba check for like the ordering and stuff like that. Unless we could just run like a yerba check, yerba apply. That like output errors and stuff. But also, I'm not going to ask you to build more things in yerba because you're supposed to be building things in herb. Okay. Q. Git commit -m test against validators for Micro says that's what we're already doing. Hang on. Let me go to bin_lint. So we're doing bundle exec yerba apply, but I don't remember there being like a check or a apply in Ruby. Because if we did have that, we could just use that. I'm having a thought though. Isn't there one that like differentiates in libtasks_validate.rake? Okay. Libtasks_validate.rake. Let's see. No, it just does bundle exec yerba check. And it tells you whether yerba passed. Otherwise, it outputs the, like, yerba output. It prints the annotations. Yeah, but that's not the same. But it's not structured and exposed to Ruby. Yeah. Test against validators for test generators against validators. Yeah. Git push. No! Oh, this is my main. I'm on a fork. Whew. Okay. Git switch -c. Oh, use validations array. Yeah. Whew, that scared me. Validate generators and data files against. We'll just call it refactor validations into array. Yes. Two diddy? No, SQ. Isk. Two diddy. Create a base validator class for all the validators. Include array of validation classes. Test generator against validators. Yeah. Run all tests. Run binlint. Yes. Per file. Yep. Sweet. Get out of here. Submit. I'll click. Oh, let's open it over here. Yeah, I keep forgetting that I did this on purpose, where I want to open them in a separate window, but yeah. Okay. Let me go to this one. Did I just see if your plugin isn't a gem? If your plugin isn't in a gem, if you're developing a plugin for internal use or in conjunction with a single project, you may want it to live in the same repo as opposed to packaging it into gem. To do this, in lieu of a gem name, provide the path you want to be required as its name. Since there is no spec metadata to learn if your plugin's class name, specify it as an option on the plugin. Oh. Wait, maybe I can delete some stuff. Banana roller plugin. Once I have this working, I'll delete some stuff. Okay, and then I can close this, close that, close this, close this. Yerba document valid and Yerba document validate already exist. Yay! Okay. I'm gonna put it on my to-do list to use yerba document valid and yerba document validate in. I think what we would do is we would just simplify, well, maybe we just do yerba document valid and yerba document validate. Oh, I just make a yerba validator. Yeah, I just make a yerba validator that does yerba document validate. And when we get auto correction working, it can just autocorrect. What am I looking for? I am looking for standard.yaml, which I appear to have closed. Come on. Standard.yaml. Yeah, like this. I'm wondering if I can get rid of some of this. Like this is lib plugin. Lib. Yeah. Can I jump straight to the plugin? It looks like I can. Okay, so I would come, this is the plugin. And I would go to standard.rb. And I would do lib Ruby events. Rubocop Ruby events plugin. Plugin class name. Rubocop Ruby events plugin. Rubocop Ruby events plugin. Well, maybe I can get rid of some of that other stuff too. Is it really Ruby? Like, isn't it Rubocop, not Ruby Cop? Maybe I'm wrong, but... Yeah, you might be able to get rid of the scaffolding. Yeah. I'm gonna close this. Okay. Bundle exec, Rubocop. Let's see what happens. It's not going to do anything because it didn't call standard. Ah, ooh, things failed. Well, I like it when things fail. Lots of things failed. What is this? Speaker update tool test. Ah, it's because it's not standard. It's using a different set of rules. All right. Now this prediction is going to be a little... Prediction. Choose outcome. Oh. I never closed the last prediction. Prediction. Will the test pass? Start prediction. Will test pass? Red, green. Let's go. That one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. Ah! That one does count. If you manage to get your red in real quick. If you manage to get your red in real quick, because I saw at least one person did, you got your points for that one. Uninitialized constant Rubocop. Standard plugin determines class constant call. Failed while configuring plugin in standard plugin determine class constant. No plugin with name Rubocop Ruby Events plugin. Hang on. Events plugin. Phantom Glyph says hell yeah. Micro says capital C and capital E. I thought Rubocop was lowercase c. I could have sworn Rubocop was a lowercase c. Alright, we're gonna do another prediction. Start prediction. Will test pass. Start prediction. Alright, here we go. Pull this up. Scroll down. I'm gonna start it. Oh no, it failed. It failed. Okay, how about this? We're gonna forego the predictions for a little bit here while we get things sorted out. Let's see what this is. Unrecognized cop or department Ruby events linting found in Ruby events default.yaml. I'll click. Yeah, we changed this to validations. Helpful to know. Okay, let's try this again. Go! 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 Aw. Okay, let's try this one. What did I get this time? Unrecognized cop or department Ruby events validations. I thought, is it validation? No, it's validations. It's called linting. And then here, validations. All right, let's try it again. Go, 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 go. Phantom Glitch says, always bet on red. Honestly, not a bad idea. It's red more often than it's green. Failed to load command, found unrecognized copper department, Ruby events validations found in here. It's not finding Ruby events validations. Ruby events cops. Oh, Macro says, I think because you're bypassing the top level file, it doesn't inject the config. Well, how am I supposed to get the config in there then? Require relative, inject config, config path. Go look. Oh. When this is, to illustrate how that works, initialize, require path. Okay. Well, which one do I need to require? This one? Require path. If you want the plugin's name to make more sense, hang on. There is no spec metadata specified as an option of the plugin. I just try Rubocop Ruby events again. No, we're doing this. We're doing lib banana roller plugin class name banana roller plugin. Plugins. Levels new. Plugin. No, that doesn't seem to be helpful. This seems to be a continuation of the last one, which was about changing the name of the banana roller plugin. I can do a require path, but what is... It says it's the cop that's not recognized. Why isn't the cop recognized? Unrecognized cop or department, Ruby events. Let me go look at how they did their plugin. Plugin. There's no requirements in their plugin. These are just links to like standard Ruby. Micro says you might need to move these requires. So help me understand, why do I need to move, like, why do I need these requires? First of all, that doesn't exist. This should already be required, since you are not loading the top level anymore. I don't understand this. I also don't understand why I need to inject the defaults of the config. Did I put them here? No, you're right. Seems like it's here. Well, and they didn't even say you need to require lint roller. That's plugin. I can believe this needs to be copied in.